Welcome back to my installment of Lakira Cuisines. I am Lakira, and if you see from the title, I am making different vegan meats. And so I started on this quote-unquote vegan journey. I'm not full vegan, but I'm trying to do some research on how my body reacts to different things. And so this is food experimentation for me, which I absolutely love. And so tonight I'm going to be making 3 different types of vegan meat that you can use as meat substitutes. So I know a lot of places use a seitan, which is basically the gluten from the wheat. And I am not gluten-free, but I'm gluten avoidance right now. So if it has gluten in it, I am trying to avoid any type of gluten products as much as possible. Gluten is in a lot of stuff, you don't even realize it. And so today I am going to show you how I make my sausage. I am then going to show you how I make my chicken, and then I'm going to show you how I make my ground beef vegan. All of it is going to be vegan, and these products that I have sitting in front of you ought to be utilized to do that. So just to get things started, I will be using the not chicken bouillon to create the chicken flavor for my chicken meat. And because it needs to go ahead and get on the stove to kind of break down, I am using chickpeas as a base for it and for the protein. And then I'm going to also use some green jackfruit. That's going to allow you to have that shredded kind of consistency of what you would do with the actual chicken breast or the chicken thigh if you had it. So I'm going to go ahead and get these open, put it on the stove with a bouillon, and allow it to kind of cook down a little bit while I work on the other meats. So this is actually going to be my first time trying it out this way. The last time I did not use the chickpea base. I just utilized the other ingredients I'm going to show you later on without it. It worked, but it wasn't as firm as I would have liked it to been. So, you know, I'm trying something different by actually adding fresh chickpeas into the base. And then I previously used marinated artichokes because marinated artichokes also gives that same stringiness or pull like you would if you were shredding a chicken. And I've used jackfruit and other things as well to make fake pulled pork and tacos. So I'm going to throw these 2 in a pot with a not chicken bouillon, and then I'm gonna drain these off a little bit, and then I'll get started on the others. All right, so for the sausage is what we're gonna work on now. So this is from tofu, and you want to get it out. We're only going to use half of this, so I'm going to just cut half of it out of the package. And I'll save the other half for later. I'm going to chop it up into blocks. And we're putting it in the blender. Okay, you want to blend until it's smooth. And so it's smooth there. So we're going to throw that in the bowl first. I'm going to add a bit of veggie bouillon to it. And we're not going to add that much. We're going to season the heck out of this. We want to get it nice and blended. that it really does take on whatever flavor that you provide to it. So adding the veggie bouillon to it gives it a nice base initially. And then what we're adding to it, I'm going to be adding mushrooms. I'm going to rinse out this real quick. All right, the mushrooms are rinsed. And we're going to blend them up. All right, it's going to give a great umami to it. And I allowed some of the pieces to kind of stay whole because it's going to add a nice bite as well. So I'm going to add the mushrooms right in. Already looks like the color of like a sausage or beef, that brown, a nice dark brown. I'm going to add some lentils, uncooked lentils. One-fourth to half a cup of those, and some quinoa. And I have the tricolored quinoa here. So this is gonna add even more protein. So we got the protein from the tofu, we're getting the protein from the lentils, and we're getting the protein from the quinoa. So this is protein packed. You won't be missing out any of your protein on this with this vegan sausage. All right, get this in here. Is it totally blended down? No, but I like having a little texture, so I don't totally blend it down. Most of it is a dust, but that's fine. Add that to the mixture. Let's bring the bowl over here so you guys can see. I'm gonna stir that all together. You could add some gluten-free flour. This one is primarily made with garbanzo beans, has potato starch, tapioca flour, and white sorghum flour, and fava bean flour. So you can definitely add a little bit of that to kind of firm it up, but I'm going to wait for a later step to see if I actually need to do that. So I'm going to add, I prefer fresh cracked peppercorns because it gives it such an intense flavor that just regular already grounded pepper does not give you. All right, and then I'm going to add some liquid smoke because that's going to give you that feeling of having some meat. You know, like cayenne pepper. You know, I love a little spice in my life, so we're gonna add that. And basically, you know, you want to add basically anything that you would put in a spice rub. I have my ground cumin here. I'm adding in. Got some mushroom umami, just to give it that little extra meat filling. And we got some onion salt. Add some additional flavor. If I can get been caked up underneath here. Y'all know what we do when it cakes up. You take that top off and you dig into there to uncake it. All right. You're gonna just use the rest of you. All right, I guess I'll be doing another trip to Trader Joe's soon. All right, I'm gonna add some chili powder to it. And some paprika, and a little bit of soy sauce. And we're gonna bind that all together real nicely. The great thing about this is it's not meat, even though that's, you know, what we're trying to mimic. It's not meat. So you can taste your seasoning to see if it's to your liking. It's good. All right. So we have our faux sausage meat, guys. That's what it looks like. So the next thing that's going to happen, get you some plastic wrap. And my teeth with this plastic wrap are gone, so I have to cut this off. And be careful when you're doing, if you have to do this way, because you end up cutting yourself and you don't want to bleed all over everything. All right, we got the plastic wrap down. I'm gonna move this cutting board behind me. All right, we're gonna get this right in here. Now, what's going to happen now is I'm going to fold this up like it's a sausage. And my next step in this process will be to steam this for about 45 minutes to an hour over a water bath. And you know, it'll be ready to use as your breakfast sausage or a meat crumble. Yeah, it tumbled down. Or any thing that you would usually want to make a sausage for, or use a sausage with. A ground sausage, that is, not an Edgar's or any of those fancy little hot dog sausage, but there's your meat log. What's going to happen, because we have beans and quinoa in there, they are going to expand this thing out. So it's going to be nice and plump after we steam it over some water. So I'll be back in a moment with the next steps. Okay guys, I have stolen my jackfruit out of the not chicken broth from the chickpeas. I'm letting chickpeas cook down just a little bit more, and I'm sitting up here doing a little shredding, right? I'm gonna shred this so it can look like shredded chicken or shredded pork. This is what we're going to use to mimic that even more in our chicken today. So, just give me a moment and I will show you how I make my faux chicken. Smushing down the last pieces of this jackfruit, and I've taken out of the not chicken bath so I can have that nice flavorfulness of chicken. You see how it looks like shredded chicken? All right, so now we're going to take this other piece of tofu that we had. All right, it's good if you have the opportunity just to kind of do one thing of tofu and make all of your proteins for your cooking all at one time. So if you want to do like a meal prep, this would be a good one to do for the week. You'll have all of your meat, your vegan meat that you want. And because I know this is some very firm tofu, I went ahead and added some water to this time around. And let me not forget, I'm putting 2 not chickens in here because when I say I want it to taste like chicken, I want it to taste like it. So we're putting 2 of these in here because it's gonna season up the rest of the batch. So 2 not chickens in with the tofu, and you want to blend it so it's nice and silky, and until both of those are all good and mixed in. So I need a second bowl here. So we're gonna move this aside just for a moment. Take this mixture and add it in here. And if you try it, it already tastes great. Now you will have it to be more silkier if you use a softer tofu. Otherwise you will have like slight granules that you feel, but that's perfectly fine. Meat is okay to have texture in the meat. If you want it to be, you know, a lot more silky, then definitely use a softer tofu. But I got like 4 things of tofu for $5 at Costco's in bulk, so this is what we're using today. Okay, so this is totally simple. I still haven't decided whether or not I'm going to be using the chickpeas, but if I need to add them to the mix, I will. What I will start off with is adding my chickpea or gluten-free flour. And I don't want too much of that in there. I just want it so that it's firmed up just enough. So if I plopped it down on something, I could make it the shape that I want to make it. So I'm going to take this mixture here and I am going to put half of it inside of here. Alright. And so switch the cutting board out. I got my parchment paper down. And I am going to formulate me some chicken thighs. So chicken thighs are basically like a fist. Just fist a few chicken thighs out. Looks like we made about 4 of them. And what you want to do with this you want to pop it in the freezer until these have solidified. Now, once they are solidified, you pop them out of the freezer and you steam them while they're still frozen so they can keep their shape. After you steam them, then you utilize them in whatever chicken-like dish you want to make. So, there we go. The sausage meat is still going, so we'll do a small preparation for our hamburger. And it's nothing too much. We are just going to take some beets, add a little beet juice, and these are pickled beets. You can use non-pickled beets if you want. We don't need too many of them because, you know, we're just looking for a good pink color. Ooh, wrong top. All right, so we're going to do this into the food processor. And we're actually going to pulse it. We're not trying to blend it into no man's land. So you got nice little beet chunks in here. And with the rest of what we put together for our chicken, we add the beets to it. Mix that together really nicely. And I'm gonna add just a little bit so we can maintain the previous consistency. I'll add some chickpea flour or gluten-free flour. The chickpea flour with the tapioca and potato starch is the best one to me because it holds the type of consistency that I'm looking for. I've tried to do this with almond flour and it just did not kind of work out like I had it the first time. And so this one right here is the preferred, and that's Bob Red Tillman gluten-free all-purpose baking flour, and the first ingredient is garbanzo beans. So that's the one I prefer. I think I got this one from Big Lots, but I think you can find it almost anywhere. But, so nice pinkness. You know, when you're having a burger or any beef, what we like, medium rare, medium is the best way to have it. So this will kind of give you that reminder of having a medium rare burger, and it's okay to have a little red in the steak, y'all. You ain't gotta always have it well done. So I'm gonna clean my space here a little bit. I have to take time and allow for the sausage to finish because the sausage is a part of making this faux burger. So I'm gonna put this in the refrigerator, let it chill out, and I'm gonna clean up my setting, and I'll be back once the sausage is done. Hey y'all, so got this faux meat log back out. You know, it looks like real meat, don't it, y'all? Got the nice marbling from the lentils. And it smells really good. So we're gonna unwrap that. And this you can use, like I said, as a sausage. You can slice it off and use it. And it's kind of falling apart a little bit because it's still hot. But it's good. It has a nice little creaminess to it. So use it how you will. But I primarily use it as a sausage. So even though it's still hot, you're supposed to allow it to cool, but I'm trying to go on to this next step, y'all. So I'm gonna take half of it. I'm gonna kind of mash it up like ground beef. Looks just like some ground beef, don't it? If you do it like this, you can always put it in a skillet with some oil and crisp it up. And you can use this as the ground beef or in a rotel dip or however you want to use it. If you want it to be a little less wet and a little bit more dry, you can always throw it into an air fryer, or you can add less tofu to it. That way it is simply lentils and quinoa and all those other ingredients we added before. So I'm going to add my other base to it. And this, I would usually add to it because I'm trying to mimic, trying to mimic hamburger or just a juicy burger. So to mix the pink into it kind of allows for that to happen. The pinkness from the beets. All right. And it has a nice consistency already. I'm going to add a little bit more liquid smoke to it. Add some salt. And it's already pretty peppery. Okay. So then this is kind of how it looks. It looks like raw meat. All right, and then so I'm gonna have a container to put both of these in. Got my containers, so now I can use this as my sausage whenever I want. And then this I can use as my ground beef or whatever it is that I want. So today I think I might actually make some Swedish meatballs. And if I do, I will do a demonstration of that. So that is my baked ground beef. All right, and let's look at the chicken. Already kind of firm and frozen. Pull from the parchment paper, and you can steam this up and use it as your chicken replacement. So there you go. 3 different meat uses that you can utilize, vegan meat of course, throughout the work week to help you on your vegan journey. High full of protein with the use of beans and tofu, so you're not missing anything that you need to keep your muscles up. So I appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully you are able to get some great recipes out of this to cook for you and your family. And until next time, I'll see you later, and take care.